Then like kettle on this bitch, go on.
What's up, ASD family and supporters? If you're tuned in right now, you know someone with autism or you're curious about what autism is. So today, as you can see, I'm in the car. I am parked in my parking lot right now. We just dropped Caleb off back to school. Now, as you know, if you've been watching the news, you know COVID has been going crazy again out here. So for the first week after Christmas break, I decided not to take Caleb to school because I wanted to see how the cases would go as far as school being back in session. I wanted to see if the cases would rise, and I just wanted to protect him from all of that. So his school is still not closed, and COVID cases in the school don't seem to be a problem right now. So I sent him back to school today. Now, I'm a little bit nervous, a little bit concerned, because when autistic kids have a change in their routine, sometimes they react differently. Sometimes they act out a little bit, which we've had a problem with Caleb sometimes. So yeah, I'm just waiting on an update from his teacher because we have this thing set up where we can text each other. So I told her to, call me and let me know how things go. I'm not working today. I can pop up at the school or whatever needs to be done. But I'm hopeful that he will have a good day. Now, also, something in his routine changed. Before Christmas break, he was attending ABA therapy. Now that December is over with, he is no longer going to that ABA center for a few reasons, which I want to talk to you guys about today. So today's topic is going to be pros and cons of ABA therapy. Now, when I say that Caleb was attending ABA therapy, his normal schedule would be a half and half day. So in the morning, in the AM, he would be in school, and then in the PM, he would go to ABA therapy. So I would drop him off at school around 8:30. I would come pick him up around after lunchtime at 12:30 to go to ABA therapy, make it there by 1 o'clock, and then be out of ABA therapy by 4:30. So that was the structure of his day when he was going to ABA therapy. Now that we are en route for looking for a new ABA center, he is no longer doing that schedule. He is full day in school. So that can be a little scary because on the days that he wasn't doing half days, he would do half days on, Tuesdays and Thursdays in December. So on the days that he had full days, which was Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, his teacher was saying that he would get kind of, I can't say disruptive, but he would be kind of like trying to do his own thing around the time that he would usually leave to go to ABA therapy. So when I say his own thing, like he would go off and be separate from the group or separate from what the teacher is telling the group to do, or he will be trying to take a nap, which he would take a nap on his way to ABA therapy. But since he's in school for those full days, he's not able to take that nap, and he would get kind of, irritable with the teacher and things like that. So with him now doing a full 5 days in school with no ABA therapy right now, it's kind of nerve-wracking because I don't want him to have any issues. But of course, I'm working closely with the teacher. Like I said, we have this texting set up where we can communicate throughout the day to basically just let me know what's going on with Caleb. They also have occupational therapists, they have psychologists and things like that in place in the school to work with Caleb that I've had meetings with. So hopefully, like I said, everything goes good. But yeah, so we're going to get into the pros and cons of ABA therapy. Today, we're going to start out with the pros of ABA therapy. Now, I know this is a very controversial topic because a lot of people, surprisingly, when I first started my son out at ABA therapy, I started to see a lot of people speaking down about ABA therapy. But with our experience, we do have a lot of pros. So the first pro is that his speech has developed tremendously. So when my son first started ABA therapy, he was barely talking, or he was like babbling. So babbling is basically trying to have a conversation but not saying clear words in order for people to communicate with you. So he was doing a lot of that. Now, throughout the months of ABA therapy, he has developed tremendously. Like I said, his speech is a lot clearer. We're still working on it to be more clear, but his speech is a lot clearer for people to understand. He also is very good at identifying things now. He's more aware of things. As you know, in ABA therapy, they work on a lot of those things. They do modules where they identify objects and things like that, and they work on their speech development and interaction with people and stuff like that. So with that, he has become a lot more social. He doesn't have those tantrums out in public settings anymore. He's not too much of shy anymore. Like in school, everybody knows his name. He's pretty much friends with everybody in his class. He gets along with everybody. Everybody loves him. He also has met some great people in ABA therapy. Fortunately, he got to stick with at least one of the therapists that he's worked with, so he's gotten familiar with that therapist. He's so happy to see that therapist. He's met a great person who loves to work with him, so that's always amazing to experience when you drop your kid off to ABA therapy, because of course you can stay sometimes, but a lot of parents can't. So to know that you're leaving your kid in good hands and that they can cooperate and have a great time with a therapist, it really just reassures you that your child is okay. Now I'm going to explain some of the cons that we experience with ABA therapy. Now, everybody's experience is different, so I'm just speaking from the encounters that we've had with the ABA center that we've been dealing with, and basically, our experience with them. So, as I stated in one of my videos, autism evaluation, explaining how all that went, he was evaluated at the same ABA center that he was attending, which is Developmental Enhancement here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So, they set him, when they created his treatment plan after he was diagnosed with high-functioning autism, they set a certain amount of hours of treatment that he needed per week. So, with that, also the parents have to work. Now, me and my son's father, we both have to work, and we also have other children that we have to tend to. With getting Caleb back and forth to ABA therapy, with me having to work and his father have to work, sometimes we could not get him to ABA therapy to the required hours, I guess, that they set for his treatment plan, which I didn't think that would be a problem. I figured as long as he was getting some type of intervention, that he should be okay. But this center, they want him there for the required amount of hours that they feel that he needs, with no regard to the fact that we, his parents, have to get him there. And without, a support system that can get him there besides his parents, it's kind of hard, because like I said, we have to work. So with us not being able to get him there for all 5 days, then they basically just said he can't come. So I felt like that was kind of a bummer, because I'm just feeling like, doesn't he need this early intervention? Like, at least supply him with the intervention that he can have. So I only work 3 days out the week. I can get him to ABA therapy 3 days out the week. So I was just thinking, like, why doesn't these 3 days work? Why does he have to be there 5 days if his parents can't get him there because they have to work? I was a little confused about that. So I just didn't like that. Now, the second con that I'm going to talk about is the constant change in ABA therapists. My son literally went through at least 5 therapists. Now, from my understanding, from what I talked about with other people who have kids with autism, it's like that in mostly all ABA centers. The turnover rate with employees is just all over the place. I didn't like that because, like I said earlier in the video, when changes in the routine happen with autistic kids, they seem to act out a little bit. You have to really get to know these kids to know their patterns and behavior so that they won't act out. So one time we had him, he had to go to a new therapist because the therapist that he was working with for so long, they no longer worked at the center. And my son's thing is dinosaurs. He brings a dinosaur with him everywhere he goes. So this therapist thought that the dinosaur belonged to the center. So when he was leaving, my son was crying for his dinosaur, and the therapist thought that it was the center's dinosaur. So that caused a little like disruption with my son, and he was like crying nonstop. And had the therapist known my son or had been working with my son, then that would have never happened, because they would have knew that that is his thing. You know, he always brings a dinosaur. So I really didn't like the constant change in therapists, because I want someone to personally get to know my son and know his habits and things like that, so things like that won't pop up, so he won't get mad unnecessarily, you know, so we won't bump into things like that. But I guess that's just how it is with ABA therapy. The turnover rate is just ridiculous. I feel like for him to have went through 5 therapists, and he's been in ABA therapy for, I would say, 6-7 months, that is just crazy. And I've heard that therapists do come up to schools sometimes to see how they behave in classes and what they can work on, but my son couldn't even experience that because his therapist will be gone the next week. So that's something that I didn't like. But overall, ABA therapy has definitely helped my son. It's just those kinds that I wish could change a little bit. As far as the scheduling, I would say to go with a ABA center that is more lenient as far as the treatment hours and things like that, because like I said, parents work, and if you don't have a great support system to get your child to ABA therapy when you're not able to, then I feel like that's horrible for your son or daughter to have to miss out on early intervention because you can't get them there because you have to work. I feel like that is like, that should be excused. Like, they should still be able to attend ABA therapy. But that was just this center. So hopefully with his new ABA center, things will be different, and people will be more lenient and more understanding to the fact that his parents have to work. So I'm gonna just close out this video right here. Thank you so much for staying with me. If you watched this video, please pass it on to somebody, because I know people have a lot of questions. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Also, Mommy's Little Genius channel, which is my son Caleb's channel, also featuring his brother Kyrie. So love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video.